Stop for a moment and listen carefully, because this might be the first honest thing you hear today. You're not lazy, you're distracted. And distraction is not just a small problem. It is silently stealing your future, 1 minute at a time, one scroll at a time, one, "I'll do it later," at a time. You think you're resting, you think you're taking a break, but what you're really doing is losing control of your attention. And without attention, you cannot build anything meaningful in your life. Look at your day. Be honest. How many times did you check your phone this morning? How many times did a notification pull you away from something important? You start doing one thing, then suddenly you're watching something else, then reading something else, then replying to a message that didn't even matter. This is not normal focus. This is a broken system. We are living in a world where your attention is constantly under attack. And the scary part is, most people don't even realize it anymore. It feels normal to be distracted. It feels normal to be busy all the time. But let me tell you the truth. Being busy is not the same as making progress. You can spend 10 hours doing things and still move nowhere. You can answer messages, check emails, clean your room, watch useful videos, and at the end of the day feel exhausted, but still be exactly where you were yesterday. Busy gives you the illusion of productivity, but focus is what actually creates results. And this is where the real pain begins. Because deep down, you already feel it. That feeling of being stuck. That quiet frustration when you know you could do more, be more, achieve more. But something keeps pulling you back. You feel tired, not because you worked too hard, but because your energy is scattered everywhere. Your mind is full, but your progress is empty. You keep trying, you start something, you stop, you restart, you lose momentum again. Days pass, weeks pass, and nothing really changes. You begin to question yourself. Why can't I stay consistent? Why do I always lose focus? What's wrong with me? But here is the truth you need to hear today. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not weak. You are not undisciplined by nature. You are simply untrained. No one taught you how to protect your focus. No one showed you how to manage your attention in a world designed to distract you. Focus is not something you are born with. It is not a personality trait. It is a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained, built, and strengthened over time. The problem is, most people never train it. They let their environment control them. They let their phone decide what they think about. They let distractions choose how they spend their time. And slowly, they lose the ability to sit, think, and work deeply. So if you feel like you've lost your focus, this is not the end. This is the beginning of awareness. Because once you see the problem clearly, you can start fixing it. And that's exactly what this video is here to do. This is not another motivational speech that makes you feel good for 5 minutes and then disappears. This is a system, a way to rebuild your focus step by step, a way to take back control of your time, your attention, and your life. And at the same time, as you listen, as you understand, you're also improving your English naturally, training your mind to think more clearly, more simply, and more effectively. So stay with me. Don't just watch. Listen. Because if you truly understand what comes next, you won't just feel different, you will start acting different. And that's where everything begins. Now that you see the problem clearly, we need to fix the root of it. Because focus is not only about removing distractions. It starts with something deeper, clarity. If you don't know exactly what matters to you, your mind will follow whatever is easiest, loudest, or most interesting in the moment. And that's how distraction wins. So the first question you need to ask yourself is not, how can I focus more? The real question is, why does this matter to me? Most people have goals, but their reasons are weak. They say, I want to learn English. Why? Because it's important. That sounds logical, but it's not powerful. Logical reasons don't move you when things get hard. Emotional reasons do. Let me tell you a simple story. There was a girl who wanted to study, but her house had no electricity. Every night, she walked outside and sat under a street light just to read. She didn't do that because it was comfortable. She didn't do that because someone told her to. She did it because her reason was stronger than her excuses. She didn't just want to study. She needed to change her life. That is the difference. When your why is emotional, you don't need motivation. You act because you feel it. So ask yourself honestly, why do you want to focus? Why do you want to improve your English? Why do you want to change your life? Not the polite answer. The real one. The one that makes you uncomfortable. The one that has pressure behind it. Because without a strong reason, your focus will always break. Now, once you have clarity in your reason, the next step is to simplify your actions. And this is where most people fail. They try to do too many things at the same time. They start multiple goals, multiple tasks, multiple plans. And in the end, they finish nothing. This is why you need to understand the one thing principle. One important task is more powerful than 10 meaningless ones. You can spend your whole day doing small things and still achieve nothing. Or you can spend 1 hour on the right thing and move your life forward. This is what people call deep work. Not shallow activity. Not switching between tasks. But focusing on one meaningful thing without interruption. So instead of asking, what should I do today? Ask a better question. What is the one thing that, if I complete it, will make this day valuable? That one thing becomes your priority. And to make this even clearer, let's organize your life into 3 simple circles. The first circle is what you want. Your dreams, your goals, the things you say are important. The second circle is what you are actually doing every day. Your habits, your actions, your routine. The third circle is your real goal. The direction your life is moving based on your actions. Now here is the truth. If your doing does not match your want, your goal will never happen. You say you want to improve your English, but you spend hours scrolling. You say you want to be successful, but you avoid difficult work. You say you want change, but your daily actions stay the same. That is misalignment. And misalignment creates frustration. But when your actions align with your goals, something powerful happens. Progress becomes visible. Motivation becomes natural. Focus becomes easier. Because now, your life has direction. And this leads us to something very important: time awareness. Everyone has 24 hours. No one has more. No one has less. But the difference is how that time is used. Think about this. If you spend just 2 hours a day on your phone without purpose, that's 14 hours a week. More than 700 hours a year. That is not a small number. That is time that could have changed your life. But because it is broken into small moments, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, you don't feel it. That is how time disappears. So you don't actually lack time. You are losing it without noticing. And that brings us to the most important insight of this part. You don't lack time, you lack direction. When you have direction, your mind becomes selective. You start saying no to things that don't matter. You start protecting your time. You start focusing on what actually moves you forward. But without direction, everything feels important. Everything feels urgent. And you end up doing nothing that truly matters. So take a moment after this. Not later. Now, ask yourself, what do I really want? Why does it matter to me? And what is the one thing I must focus on today? Because clarity is where focus begins. Now that you have clarity, we move to the part where everything actually changes. Action. Because focus is not built by thinking, planning, or waiting. Focus is built by what you do, consistently, every single day. And if you don't have a system, your focus will depend on your mood. And your mood is not reliable. So let's build a simple, powerful system. First, you need to understand something called your power hours. These are the hours in your day when your brain is naturally more alert, more clear, and more capable of deep thinking. For some people, it's early in the morning. For others, it's late at night. But you already know your time. You've felt it before. The time when you can focus without forcing it. The problem is, most people waste these hours. They check their phone, reply to messages, scroll, or do easy tasks. And by the time they try to do something important, their energy is already gone. So here is the rule. Protect your power hours like gold. Don't give them to distractions. Don't give them to low-value tasks. Use them for your most important work. Even if it's just 1 hour. 1 hour of real focus is more powerful than 5 hours of distraction. Now let's talk about the biggest enemy of focus: procrastination. You know exactly what it feels like. You have something important to do. You think about it. You plan it. You tell yourself you will start soon. But you don't. You wait. You delay. You avoid. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to begin. So how do you break this? Use something simple called the 5-second rule. The moment you know what you need to do, count down in your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move. No thinking. No overanalyzing. Just start. Because hesitation feeds procrastination. Action breaks it. You don't need to feel ready. You need to move before your brain finds an excuse. And this connects to another powerful principle. Start small. Most people don't start because the task feels too big, too difficult, too overwhelming. So instead of starting, they avoid. But what if you made it smaller? Instead of, I will study English for 1 hour, say, I will study for 1 page. Instead of, I will work for 3 hours, say, I will work for 10 minutes. This is not about doing less. It's about removing resistance. Because once you start, something interesting happens. Momentum builds. 1 page becomes 2. 10 minutes becomes 30. And suddenly, what felt difficult becomes natural. So don't focus on finishing. Focus on starting. Now let's talk about something many people ignore when it comes to focus. Your body. Your brain does not work alone. It depends on your physical state. If your body is tired, your brain will be tired. If your body is unhealthy, your focus will suffer. So if you want better focus, you need to take care of 3 simple things: sleep, food, and movement. Sleep is not optional. It is the foundation. Without proper sleep, your attention drops, your memory weakens, and your energy disappears. Food matters too. What you eat affects how you think. Too much sugar, too much junk food, and your brain becomes slow and unstable. And movement, even a short walk, can reset your mind, improve your mood, and increase your focus. Your body is the engine, and your brain runs on it. Finally, let's talk about balance. Because many people make one of 2 mistakes. They either push too hard and burn out, or they relax too much and become lazy. So you need to balance pain and pleasure. Discipline is necessary. You must do difficult things. You must stay consistent. But if everything feels like pressure, you will eventually stop. So after focused work, give yourself a small reward. Something simple. Something controlled. This creates a cycle where your brain connects effort with positive results. Work, then reward. Effort, then rest. This balance keeps you moving without breaking. And when you put all of this together, you begin to understand something very important. Focus is not built by intention. It is built by action. Not by saying, I will focus tomorrow. Not by watching another video. Not by waiting for motivation. But by protecting your time, starting immediately, working in small steps, and repeating the process every day. Because at the end of the day, your focus is not decided by what you want to do. It is decided by what you actually do. Now that you have a system to build focus, there is one more thing you must understand. You can't just try harder. You must remove what is breaking your focus in the first place. Because most of the time, the problem is not that you are weak. The problem is that your environment is working against you. And this is where we talk about something very important: triggers. Triggers are the small things around you that quietly destroy your attention. Your phone, your notifications, your messy workspace, the people you talk to every day. These things may look normal, but they control your behavior more than you think. Think about your phone for a second. You don't always decide to check it. Sometimes, you just reach for it automatically. A notification appears. You click it. One message becomes 5 minutes. 5 minutes becomes 30. And suddenly, your focus is gone. This is not an accident. This is design. On average, people touch their phones thousands of times a day. Some studies say over 2,000 times. That means your attention is being interrupted constantly. And every time you switch your focus, your brain loses energy. This is called dopamine overload. Your brain becomes used to quick rewards, fast stimulation, easy pleasure. And when it's time to do something slow and meaningful, like studying, working, or thinking deeply, your brain resists it. Not because you are lazy, but because you have trained your brain to expect constant stimulation. So if you want to fix your focus, you cannot ignore this. You must control your environment. Start with something simple, your space. Look around where you work or study. Is it clean? Is it organized? Or is it full of distractions? A messy environment creates a messy mind. When your space is full of things, your attention is pulled in different directions. But when your space is clear, your brain can relax and focus. So take a few minutes to clean your workspace. Remove unnecessary items. Keep only what you need. This small change can make a big difference. Now let's talk about people. The people around you influence your focus more than you realize. If you are constantly around people who complain, who waste time, who avoid responsibility, you will slowly adopt the same habits. Not because you want to, but because it becomes normal. On the other hand, if you are around people who take action, who respect their time, who work on their goals, you will feel pushed to do the same. So ask yourself, who are you spending your time with? What kind of conversations are you having? Are they helping you grow, or pulling you back? Sometimes, improving your focus is not about adding new habits. It is about reducing negative influence. And now let's make this practical. You need a simple system to control your environment. Something you can actually use. Start with what we call a trigger audit. For one day, observe yourself. When do you lose focus? What caused it? Was it your phone? A message? A person? A random thought? Write it down. Be honest. Then take action. If your phone is the problem, move it away during work time. Turn off notifications. Put it in another room if needed. If your environment is distracting, simplify it. Remove what you don't need. If certain people or situations constantly break your focus, limit your exposure. You don't have to be rude. Just be intentional. And finally, replace bad triggers with good ones. Instead of checking your phone when you feel bored, open a book. Instead of scrolling, take a short walk. Instead of reacting automatically, pause and return to your task. This is how you retrain your brain. Because focus is not just about effort. It is about design. And this brings us to the most important insight of this part. Focus is not about trying harder. It's about removing what breaks it. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer distractions. And when you control your environment, you take back control of your mind. Now we come to the final part. And this is where everything becomes real. Because at the end of the day, focus is not about understanding ideas. It is about what you repeat. Most people are waiting for something to change. A new feeling, a new motivation, a perfect moment. But that's not how real progress works. Progress comes from repetition. The same actions, done again and again, even when they feel boring. And here is something important you need to accept. Boring is not a problem. Boring is mastery. The people who succeed are not always excited. They are not always inspired. They simply show up. They do the work. They repeat the process. While others get distracted, they stay consistent. This is what discipline really means. Discipline is not forcing yourself to suffer. It is training yourself to continue, even when it's not interesting, even when it's not perfect, even when no one is watching. Because when you repeat the right actions long enough, they stop feeling difficult. They become part of who you are. And that's where the real transformation happens. Not in your schedule, not in your plan, but in your identity. You stop saying, "I'm trying to focus." You start saying, "I am someone who focuses." This is a completely different mindset. When you see yourself this way, your decisions change. You protect your time. You reduce distractions. You choose what matters. Not because you have to, but because it matches who you are. Identity drives behavior. If you believe you are someone who gets distracted, you will continue that pattern. But if you begin to act like someone who is focused, even in small ways, your brain starts to accept it. And slowly, that identity becomes real. So don't wait to feel different. Start acting different. And now let's be honest about one final truth. Your dreams will not come from motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Some days you feel strong, some days you feel weak. If you depend on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. But consistency does not depend on motivation. Consistency depends on discipline. Doing the work when you feel like it, and also when you don't. That is the difference. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like you are not moving forward, don't tell yourself that you are incapable. Don't tell yourself that you are not good enough. Understand this clearly. You are not stuck, you are just unfocused. And focus can be trained. Focus can be rebuilt. Focus can be protected. Starting today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. So take one action. One small step. Something real. Something you can complete. And then repeat it again tomorrow. That is how everything changes. And if you want to go further, if you want to build deep focus, improve your English, and develop a stronger mindset at the same time, then stay on this path with us. Like this video if it helped you see things differently. Comment, I focus now. Subscribe to Invention English for more lessons that help you grow step by step. Because this is not just about learning English. This is about learning how to control your life. And remember this, focus is not something you find. It's something you protect every single day.